Hey guys, I'm Jake.
I'm Ethan. Welcome to Life in Equilibrium, where we talk about how you can be happy by taking control of 4 main stresses in your life.
Today we want to talk about relationships, more specifically relationships with yourself.
So like we said, today we're going to be talking about the relationship you have with yourself, which we feel like is one of the more important relationships that you can develop. And as we develop this relationship, you'll have more self-confidence and greater self-respect.
So we've thought of 3 different steps that you can take to get this confidence and self-respect. The first is to look at yourself objectively as another person would. The second is to love that person. The third step is to enjoy the results of confidence and self-respect. So I heard a story told by a priest a long time ago. It was an eagle's egg that was put with a batch of chicken eggs, and the eagle hatched and grew up with the chickens. The eagle stayed on the ground, it pecked with the chickens. One day they looked up and they saw a big bird flying in the sky, and the eagle that was raised with the chickens asked, "What is that?" And the chickens answered, "That's the eagle, that's the king of the birds." And the bird said, "We are chickens, we stay on the ground, we peck and we eat bugs." He lived and died a chicken.
That really is an awesome story. We need to know who we are if we would like to be able to achieve the greatness. One of the best ways that we're able to know who we are is by writing things down. As we are able to write things down and identify our biggest strengths, our greatest weaknesses, things that we would like to accomplish, maybe things that we would like to change, it kind of gives us an outline and we can move forward on there on what we would like to do.
Absolutely. I think it's important to look at ourselves objectively. That's something it's super easy for us to do to other people. Really easy to look at them, figure out what their problems are, how they need to fix their problems, and so it's harder to do it to ourselves.
Yeah, we're always our greatest critic and we know exactly how to fix other people. So if we look at ourselves like we view other people, not destroying ourselves in the process, but uplifting.
Almost like a resume. Like if you were to say, these are my skills, these are my weaknesses, you turn it into your boss and they can look at you and they understand who you are as a person and they know if they should hire you or not. So you can look at yourself almost like you're hiring yourself for a job and you say, look, these are my strengths and my weaknesses. You get to know who you are a little bit better.
And from there, I think that's not enough, obviously. You look at those things that you've written down on the piece of paper, then you're able to set goals and make plans on how you would like to change that to be able to know what you would like to be.
Exactly. So we think there's some questions that we can ask ourselves, and we've got a list of those questions that we will post. We're gonna ask you guys.
Yeah, the list of the questions will be put down in the notes, so if you would like that, you can just kind of download that and fill it out or look at the questions and get some self-reflection on there.
And I think it's important. It's easy to just think about these questions in your head, but like actually writing them down is super important. That lets you actually think about things, and you write it down and it triggers something else. You're able to look at it a little bit more objectively.
It becomes concrete.
Yep.
Hopefully you've been able to look at this paper and these questions and identify a little bit more of who you are and what goals you have for yourself. Social studies have found that as you are doing things productive and in line with these goals and who you are, that's when you truly are happy.
On to step 2. So one of my friends was talking to me about happiness. They said something they had been trying to do was say no to things that didn't align with who they were. So they started saying no to a whole bunch of different things and yes to things that were in line with who they were. They noticed that they were a lot happier after they were doing this.
That's pretty interesting. It almost sounds counterintuitive to say no and that makes you happy, right? But it works. So Stephen Covey talks about this in one of his books, where he says that we need to love ourselves in the action sense, as in taking care of yourself and doing the things that actually help you. And as you do that, you'll be able to love yourself for who you are and be able to appreciate yourself. It's something that does take practice. It's day by day. Every day you need to put in a little bit of effort, and over time you'll be able to see the bigger picture. But it's something important that you should never get discouraged if you're not seeing results or loving yourself after one day. It does take some time, and you just have to stay positive with it.
It's the small decisions we make every day that create who we are. So one thing that really eats into our self-worth is comparison. So comparing with everyone else is good at something and everyone else is a little bit below average on something else. It's just the fact of life. I like to think of it as a puzzle. Every puzzle piece is not just a perfect square. They'll have a little bit of a bump out or a dividend, Individually, it's really nothing much, but when you add it together with all the other puzzle pieces, it creates a beautiful picture. So I really think as we capitalize on our strengths and others' weaknesses in the sense of helping them out, we come together and we're a lot happier and we're more beautiful all together.
Yeah, I love it. Comparisons really are something that will destroy you. You should never compare yourself to other people. Everyone's at a different point in life, and just because they are excelling in one topic, just like the puzzle pieces, we're excelling in a different topic that maybe they're jealous of us for. But as you just look and be happy with where you're personally at in the moment, then you'll be happy and not always in a sad place of trying to keep up with your neighbors or family.
Right, and when you know who you are, that's okay that other people are good at something else.
Yeah.
That doesn't take away from your worth. My wife Brayden made a comment, complimenting someone else's wings doesn't take yours away.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. You're special, and when you know, and when you've written these things out, and you look at yourself objectively, and you know who you are, and you're working on that, that's okay that someone else is good at the same thing. That's okay if someone else is better than you at other things. It doesn't take away from your worth. There's a story where a guy stood up in front of the audience and he said, "Who wants a $20 bill?" And they all raised their hand. He crumpled it up and he said, "Who wants a $20 bill?" They all raised their hands, stamped on it, wrote some dirt in it. "Who wants a $20 bill?" They all did.
Of course, just because it's a little different doesn't mean it's any worse. And that's what step 3 is. Knowing who you are, working at it every day, and being happy with the result.
Yeah, because when you are happy with who you are, it allows you to be happy with other people. It allows you to be happy in their happiness and not feel threatened by their happiness. So in essence, it multiplies your happiness exponentially. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe.
We're super excited. Come back next week. We will be having another video about one of the next 4 stressors in life.
And we hope to do a follow-up video. So please send us a message, write in the comments, anything you'd like. We like to do follow-up videos.
We'll answer any questions you may have. Stay tuned.
Woo.